Welcome to the Spotlight Show. I'm very excited to have you with me today. Today is a great day as we debut this show today live, and we're coming to you live and direct from the GBKM network in Toronto, Canada. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be watching from. I'm very happy to have you on the show. And remember, you can join us live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at gpkm.tv. And you can also check us out on our website at www.gpkm.fm. Thank you so much. Today is going to be an interesting show. Remember, this show is set up to provide insights and be able to discuss issues and ideas that affect me and you. You know, we are in the period whereby for the first time in the 21st century, we have a common enemy. You know, COVID-19 has impacted the entire globe, and every government out there is trying their best to bring normality back to the economy and get the citizens back on their feet. Small businesses are trying to stay afloat, and people are trying to get additional sources of income. And today is going to be very interesting. Why? Because we have a very special topic for you, which is going to interest you. Why? Because it affects me and you. And what is the topic for today? We're going to be talking about how you can get into a career of your choice, how you can be able to develop that idea and that business you've always thought about. And of course, you have a talent, why not? We're going to discuss how you can monetize your talent. So please stay tuned as we continue to discuss these issues and topics that affect every one of us. Remember, this show is for everyone of African descent in the diaspora and in the home country. I have a special guest with me tonight, and that guest is going to be able to help us discuss these issues and be able to give us solutions and be able to identify the common mistakes that we make, so that even those of us in the outside of the continent can learn from these mistakes, and those of us within the continent can be able to take this information and make informed decisions. So please stay tuned. We're going to go on a quick break, and do not miss the topic as we come back shortly.
Do you believe you could host an entertaining, engaging, and thoughtful weekly show? Or are you a business person or entrepreneur interested in building a brand for yourself? Can you connect with an audience and have strong social media skills? If so, the GBCAM network would love to invite you to join our team. We're looking for driven, genuine folks who are willing to work hard as an independent broadcaster. If this sounds like you, come join our team. For more information, email your resume to career@gbkm.fm. That is career, CAREER, at gbkm.fm. It's time to turn your passion into a career. Do you believe you could host an...
Welcome back. And if you've been with us, thank you for staying tuned. And if you're just joining up, you're welcome. And you're going to have an interesting episode today. Remember, you can continue to join us and watch us live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at GBKM.TV. And like I said, because of the impact of COVID-19, we decided to have this special discussion today, which affects me and you, because people are looking for new career change. People are looking to get second income and go into business. People have very good skills and trying to monetize it. And right now, I'm going to introduce my special guest all the way from Austin, Texas, in the United States of America. His name is Mr. Tosin Olamigoke, and he is a career coach, people and culture specialist. Welcome, Mr. Tosin. And how are you feeling today, sir?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on for the first show.
Thank you so much. Awesome. And we want to know a little bit about yourself. Can you just tell the audience who are you and what do you do?
Definitely, yeah. So currently, I am what you would call a career development coach. I work for an organization called General Assembly, and I essentially work with people making career changes every day, helping guide them along the way to find the career of their dream or their next career. or to better strategize on how to get a career, or even if it is just a job. And before doing that, I used to work within the recruitment programs at a company called Indeed. I'm sure many of you listeners are familiar with Indeed, the #1 job site in the world, and I recruited individuals to come work at that company. While I was there, I did a lot of diversity and inclusion initiatives and diversity and inclusion work, developing an organization focused on cultural diversity, which was very close to my heart. I'm someone who's been fortunate enough to have lived in various countries, worked in various countries, traveled to different countries. I'm Nigerian by birth, but my family came to America when I was young, and I was fortunate enough many years after that. I lived in France for some time, and then I lived in the Czech Republic. And then I came back here and I got an opportunity to work for an organization that brought international students, teachers, interns, professionals to the United States on cultural programs, work programs. So the topic of career development, career changing is something that's always been ingrained in me. And it's always been a main focus, especially when you come at it from the perspective of culture, of the African diaspora culture and cultural diversity. That stays very close to my heart, and why I'm very excited to be here today.
Thank you so much, Tosin. Amazing. And that's the beauty of this show, because we go across the globe and bring you special guests who are subject matter experts in the topic we're going to discuss, so that they can give us their own insight and recommendations, so that way we can take this information and benefit ourselves, benefit every one of us out there. So thank you for that a brief introduction about yourself. And looking at your profile is very interesting. For those audience watching who may not know, what does it entail? What does the role involve for you to be a people and culture specialist?
Yes, people and culture, and depending on how you frame it, some companies, some people see that as an HR specialist, and I fancy myself as someone who has been fortunate enough to have had many career changes, and a lot of those opportunities have been within the human perspective, the human resources world, or as I like to call it, the people world. Because when you talk about people and culture, especially from the professional side of things, you're talking about, human movement. You're talking about career development. You're talking about talent development. You're talking about cultural understanding, which are all elements that I've been fortunate enough to have been able to work within. When I worked for a company, when I first came back to the United States after living in France and the Czech Republic, I got an opportunity to do such a multifaceted amount of things. So in my professional career, I had an opportunity to train HR professionals on how to work with people from different countries, how to understand their culture and the nuances of that. I had an opportunity to take people from the United States to foreign countries to recruit foreign workers to eventually come back to the United States for specialty government work programs while guiding those individuals here. And being able to work within diversity and inclusion, which is another people specialty focused on creating inclusive environments in the workspace and the community, which is also another passion of mine. And now my main passion really stems in helping people achieve their career growth, because that's something that I've been fortunate enough to have an opportunity to develop, and I've learned sometimes by mistake, but I always feel that the things we learn by mistake always stick very close to us. And now that I have those learnings, I truly want to pass those on to other people. So being a people culture specialist is someone who really is just empowered to helping other people develop skills, talents, and abilities.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Today's topic is very close to my heart. Why? Because, many of us, including our viewers, probably know someone, or they themselves are impacted with this, economic downturn that's as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I was looking at the news the other day, and I seen a lot of startups are beginning to lay off. A lot of small businesses have closed, who may never even resume operations anymore. I have some data here. I noticed even Uber laid off 25% of their workforce. That's interesting. Lyft laid off about 982 people, which represent about 17% of their workforce. Even if you look at the hospitality industry, Airbnb did the same thing, and Airbnb also laid off about 25% of their workforce. And that's why we want to have this topic of discussion and be able to inform, all our audience, including those back home in Africa and those in the diaspora who may be thinking of, career change, which it's your domain, who may be thinking of how to develop a business idea, who may have a talent and say, you know what, I need a second income. I want to try and monetize my talent. So for those people, what sort of information or information can you provide to be able to help our listeners, including myself, to be able to go into changing career or look for develop a business idea?
Yes, both of those are very nuanced elements. Changing your career, starting your own business, they could go hand in hand. Changing your career could be starting your own business, and that's something that I always tell people consistently. That before you even change your career, before you even start your own business, one, you have to have a plan. And I know that seems very straightforward, like a plan. What does that mean? You have to understand the nuances of what it will take to make that career change. I work with career changes every day. A lot of them are in the technology industry. They're working towards becoming software engineers, working in the field of user experience design and research, data science, at roles like that. And I work with some other people in different industries too. But the thing that I always tell them is it starts with the research. So if you know and you think, I want to change my career, I want to get into this new avenue, no matter what it is, it starts with research. You need to look up that career. You need to look up what skills do you need to have for that career. A lot of times people just want to jump into something without really taking that time to do that analysis work, to do that values work. If you want to become you want to work in marketing, you need to see what skills do I need to have to be in marketing, because sometimes we think I must have a degree in marketing to get into marketing. And I'm just using marketing as an example, but the reality is no, you need marketing skills, applicable marketing skills to get into marketing. So maybe there are some tools you need to learn first. So because of the world we live in, everything is digital. You can learn anything online. You can find a course. You can find resources, books, individuals, things like that to teach you the skills that you need for a job. You don't always need a certificate, a degree, even though those things help, and for certain industries that's important and necessary. But for a lot of things, you need the skills. And once you have an idea of what skills you need to get, you need to start networking. And this is something that I stress very heavily with my career changers. The number one way to get a job in the entire world, no matter what country you are, whether you're in the United States or Toronto, Canada, wherever you are, it comes from networking. And sometimes people have this idea about networking, that networking is just a take, like, oh, I just need to take something from someone. But no, if you have an idea, you have something to network with someone. So if you do want to start a business, do your research. Find out who else is in that field, who else has started a business like that, or a business in the same path and way that I want to start a business. Start making a list of those individuals. Start reaching out to those individuals. Sometimes when we're trying to make a career change, we think we have to do it by ourselves. The reality is no one does anything in this world by themselves. You have to reach your hand out and you have to ask for help. That's the only way. So networking and building those skill sets, that's the basis. Once you start having conversations with those individuals, you start to learn more. You start to build networks of people in that world that you want to get into. And it becomes a much easier transition to get into that world when you have individuals who have a vested interest in your success. That is how when you build a network of people like that, they instantly, they want to push you to succeed. You may not be in that field just now, but as you start to build a network of people in that field, you will one day get into that field because you will have individuals who have your back. as you're building the skills on top of various other things. So honestly, that's really where it starts. And I tell people every day that if whatever you want to get into, you need to make sure that you're connecting with people in that field and learning from them first before you jump into it. Because jumping into it without that knowledge, you might find success, but there's a bigger chance that you may not. But if you have a backbone of people who are there to support you, you're more likely to be successful in that avenue.
Oh, awesome. And I truly, 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 can relate to that because what I understand for what you just said is that research is important because what? Information is power. Once you do your research, then you have enough arsenal, enough information to understand how you can get into that field. Something else I got from that as well is there's power in numbers, networking, which is very, very key because I love to network, And so Tosin, in terms of networking, what would be the steps to take to be able to, if I'm a new immigrant to a country, I may not know a lot of professionals in that field. So what are the steps do you think would aid such?
Yes, that's a great question. This is one that I love I love speaking with people about because, a lot of times we think of networking in the traditional sense. We think, oh, how do I network? Go into a hotel room lobby at a networking event, bring my resume, business cards, all of these things. And that's an effective way to network as well. But the reality is, as you mentioned earlier, right now, everyone is stuck at home. Most people are remote. So the beauty is to network, it does not take as much of a lift or, a heavy lift of work on your part. All you need to do is open your computer. If you're blessed with having Wi-Fi and access to the internet, you can network with absolutely anyone in the world within any field or demographic country, wherever that is. I tell people consistently, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, you're setting yourself up to have a harder transition in your job search or your career change or your business strategy. LinkedIn right now, and this is someone who used to work at Indeed, the #1 job searching site in the world. We use LinkedIn, and I'm not here to promote LinkedIn in that sense, but I am here to promote LinkedIn to say LinkedIn is a networking platform. That's what it was built for. 90% of recruiters, 50% of CEOs and Fortune 500 CEOs, I think even more than 50%, and I don't want to use the wrong metric because I researched this a couple of weeks ago. They all use LinkedIn. If you want to network with people in your field, get on LinkedIn. And don't just log in and say, I'm on. No, optimize your LinkedIn account. There's so many resources out there that can help you optimize, or videos and tutorials that you can watch to optimize your LinkedIn profile. And what I mean by that is, again, if you want to get into, let's say you want to be a teacher, how can you optimize your profile for that? You make sure the keywords in your profile, in your descriptions, in your headings, your skills are all centered towards being a teacher, that field of teaching or marketing or whatever it is. So you have to start digitally. Another way that you can really optimize your networking abilities is to go to networking events. Like I mentioned earlier, but the beauty is a lot of those events are happening digitally right now. So a site called meetup.com, global site. Eventbrite is another global site. A lot of times we think, oh, that's where I go to get concert tickets or football tickets to watch my favorite club play or something like that. Yes, but guess what? They also have links to conferences and industry-specific conferences. That's where it goes back to what we mentioned earlier about doing your research. If you've done your research, you've connected with people in the field, you know the area you want to go into. Now all you have to do is start finding those events, those industry-specific events, connecting with people at those events, learning or going to those events and really, really sharing the knowledge that you gain from those events with your network, thus building more people in your network and expanding your network. So it really has to start digitally. And you have to, to be honest, you have to be bold with networking. A lot of times people have this apprehension of reaching out to people, as I mentioned, asking people for help. You have to be very, very bold and take the first step, because people are not going to take this first step for you. You have to be the one to do that. And honestly, that's really where it starts. There's a lot of other platforms, but for networking, I tell people all the time, the easiest place to start, get on LinkedIn, optimize your accounts to fit the career that you're looking for, and start attending events. And I'll add this, start actively attending events. Do not just show up and be a passive participant. If you go to an event, let's say you want to go into the industry of graphic design, I'm just anything, and you go to a graphic design meetup, don't just be a passive, patron or person. Show up with questions, show up with your own insights, which brings me to my last point, and I'll stop here. When it comes to networking, you have to become a thought leader, and you have to be viewed as a thought leader. The beauty is there's so much knowledge out there. We can all become thought leaders. If you want to get into an industry, you should be researching, reading, learning, and then you need to start writing about that industry, because that's how people start to see this trail of information about you online that says, oh, this person is really well versed in this. This person's really well versed in this. This would be someone that I can connect with. And then you get this mutual connection going back and forth. So there's a lot of other ways, but those are just some that I can definitely share with you.
Oh, thank you very much,
Yeah.
because I've always thought that networking has to be face-to-face. But COVID-19 has shown us that, no, you don't have to be in person to actually meet up. That's very interesting, Tosi. Thank you for such information. And viewers that's watching all across the globe, this is applicable to you, regardless of wherever it may be, in Africa, in Europe, in North America. These are the steps to take. Do your research, understand what you want, get that information, network, like what Tosin told us. You can network through so many means. Right now, a lot of online platforms like Coursera and so many other businesses are offering free courses, you understand? And apart from that, you just mentioned there's Meetup. It's an app. Download it on your phone. Look for events around your neighborhood. Eventbrite is my go-to. I won't lie to you. I've used that. I've used that website a lot, because I like to meet with my MPs and MPPs in the parliament. There's so many events that give me access to the parliament and different events that is happening across the constituents. So guys, take advantage of that. And Tosin, so it means that regardless, be it a career, be it a business, you're saying that research and networking is applicable to both.
Absolutely. Research and networking is applicable, especially for career changing. It's a little more evident. For starting your own business, I think sometimes we don't see that as the way. We think, oh, I'll just do it by myself. I'll get the idea. I'll put it out there. No. And I'll put it like this. What a lot of people who start successful businesses, eventually they get this board of directors. They get people to help guide them and help push them and help show them what works and what doesn't work. I always tell people who want to start a business, hey, start the business, but start surrounding yourself with people who can push, help, and guide you along the way early on. Don't wait till your business is, sells for $1 million or $1 billion to Facebook and, hey, I hope your business sells for $1 billion to one of those companies one day. But don't wait. Set yourself up for success now, even if that circle is your family or if that circle is just your friends. But the beauty of it is if you're really networking effectively, which means you're sharing knowledge with other people and you're having conversations with other people and truly building and cultivating relationships, not just business relationships with people. It's not difficult at all to find a group of people who will help guide you in the right direction. Research is for any business. Do that research and see who has been successful in this business. How has this type of business been successful in my region? Is there a need for this type of business? Maybe this is the first idea or first business that has ever existed in the place you're located or in this medium, whichever the medium might be. If that's the case, weigh your risks, your rewards, do all of that deep thinking and think about your values. Is this a business idea that I am passionate about and I want to see through? Or is this maybe a business idea that I can sell to someone and have them use their backing, their money, their funding. And maybe this is just an idea I have that I can help or I can show someone and they can help take it off. Sometimes we think, oh, I have to have a business, do it by myself. Again, we need to get out of this mind frame. If you're trying to do it alone, I'm not saying you won't be successful, but you're going to have a much more difficult time. And I can attest to that in my personal career, any business endeavor I've ever done. I've always had help, and I will never shy away from admitting it. I haven't accomplished anything by myself. And I think any business leader will also tell you the same thing. You know, even if the idea is their own, they had people there who believed in them. But the thing is, the people that believed in them were probably the people that they connected with and networked with, or their friends who they're in their close circle. They were people who were invested in their success at the end of the day. And we all need people like that in our lives.
Awesome, awesome. So viewers all over the world watching us, you've heard from the expert. Be it business, be it a career, you need to do your research. You need to network. Network doesn't have to be in person. You know, there's so many avenues. And even for new immigrants, for those who want to come, you know, abroad, you know, and pursue a career, the same thing. Yes, when we came, we had issues of experience. Do you have a U.S. experience, Canadian experience? But from what I'm hearing, Tosin, it seems it's the same approach. Regardless of experience, if you do your research properly, you have a proper profile on LinkedIn, and you meet the right people through networking, you will have that chance on that job. I personally took the same steps and trying to get into a field here when I migrated from England to Canada. I did a lot of networking, and it was through networking I got my first opportunity. Yes, the pay may not be competitive, but remember, you are trying to get into a field, you know, step in there and you'll be able to prove yourself. This is amazing. You know, so ladies and gentlemen, it's been very interesting so far. We're going to go to the next question, how to monetize your talent. But before we do that, stay tuned as we go on a short break.
Entertaining, engaging, and thoughtful weekly show? Or are you a business person or entrepreneur interested in building a brand for yourself? Can you connect with an audience and have strong social media skills? If so, the GBKM Network would love to invite you to join our team. We're looking for driven, genuine folks who are willing to work hard as an independent broadcaster. If this sounds like you, come join our team. For more information, email your resume to career@gbkm.fm. That is career, CAREER, at gbkm.fm. It's time to turn your passion into a...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for staying tuned. And you are on the Spotlight Show, where we discuss issues and ideas that affect me and you, and looking for solutions, and that way we can make informed decisions. Remember, you can continue to watch us live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at gbkm.tv and gbkm.fm. Our website as well is www.gbkm.fm. So thank you once again. So Tosin, quickly, let's take a look at talent. I have met a lot of people who are very talented, but they don't know how to monetize it. Is it the same steps with career and business, or is there something different?
Partially the same steps, but there's definitely some additions, especially if you already have an idea, you're already really talented in a field, and you're thinking, okay, how can I really monetize this? How can I make this my living or a side living, side hustle, as some people like to say. I always tell people all the time, it starts with building your brand. And this is kind of part of networking, but it's a little bit separate in the sense that if you have an idea, if you have a talent, you have to start thinking, who knows that I have this talent and idea? We sometimes just think, oh, I have this great idea, I'm working on this, but the reality is, how many people actually know what you can do? You have to brand yourself and you have to promote yourself. And I'll be honest, this is something I'm not always great at myself. I shy away sometimes from promoting myself. But the reality is we need to do that. If you've built something that's amazing, put it out there. You need to make sure that your brand, and by brand, I mean your own personal brand, is associated with this. So that if someone sees a picture of you or they see something you write, they associate that with your idea. They associate that with your development work. And the beauty is, again, it's so easy to do this in this modern age, digitally. When you talk about things like Instagram, you talk about, again, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, You talk about, all these avenues of social media that exist where you can be your own marketer. You can be your own brand manager.
Awesome.
You can create your own website. And the thing is, once you've created these things, you need to get on a cycle of sharing these things with people. I tell anyone who wants to start their own business and really monetize things, learn what SEO, search engine optimization, is, and then learn the basic principles of marketing. You can learn those things in one day if you do a Google search. It won't take you that long. And if you have that understanding, you'll know when is the best time for me to post this new idea that I had on Instagram. When will it get the most traffic? Thing people don't know is you can get the metrics and the data on all of these things online, specifically for your own site or your own handle, your own login information as well. Use that data to see if I promote this event that I am hosting for my thing on a Monday at 2 p.m. U.S. Standard Time. What is that? 1400. Promoted at this time.
Yes.
What is the likelihood I'm going to get the most traffic of people who see that? And tie that to how many people actually appear at that event, whether it's live. For example, this here, we have to really use that data, those metrics to help guide your success towards monetary success. So I tell people all the time, yes, research, network, but if you want to get paid, you need to brand yourself. You absolutely need to brand yourself and let people know what it is you've built.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tosin. You have really enlightened us. I have been more informed, and I'm very happy for that. And that's the whole purpose of this show, so that we can be able to know, what is out there and what's available to us, No man is an island. Thank you very much, Tosin, and we'll definitely love to have you again on the show. Like I tell everyone, my subject matter experts are very busy people, and we have them for a short period of time. And as we try to round up the show, I want to thank you once again, and thank you very, very much. I've been very, very informed. I've been blessed by your information.
Thank you. No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. So yes, viewers, that's been an interesting discussion. You've been able to see that you are the best ambassador for your brand. You shouldn't be shy. Like I always tell people, do not be afraid to make a mistake. Nobody knows everything. Always have that in your mind. And whether that is a career, whether it's a business, or you have a talent for cooking, for singing, sport, it doesn't matter. Network, and promote yourself. Okay? So we want to give thanks to everyone that's joined us today. And remember, this is a weekly show every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will not want to forget to have a shout out to our supporters who made this show possible. Thanks to the Pan-African Arts, Culture and Trade Institute Canada. You can find them on www.paacati.org. www.pakati.org. And also want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Imani's Place. Imani's Place is a home for women who suffer from domestic violence, sex trafficking, or having homelessness. So thank you everyone for joining, and do not forget, we have a very interesting topic next week. We're going to be looking at how we, people of African descent, can partake of the so many funds, grant, and scholarship available. This is our era, okay? So remember, you are a God. So you are always on the spotlight. What you say and how you present yourself matters, okay? So keep doing what you do, keep believing in yourself, and anything you put your mind to, you can always achieve. So I'll leave you with this note. The next week, same time, 6 p.m. at our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at gbkm.fm. So remember, you are always in the spotlight. The change you seek begins with you. Good night.
Career. Do you believe you could host an entertaining, engaging, and thoughtful weekly show? Or are you a business person or entrepreneur interested in building a brand for yourself? Can you connect with an audience and have strong social media skills? If so, the GBKM Network would love to invite you to join our team. We're looking for driven, genuine folks who are willing to work hard as an independent broadcaster. If this sounds like you, come join our team. For more information, email your resume to career@gbkm.fm. That is career, CAREER, @gbkm.fm. It's time to turn your passion